Sagittarius. Real big apologies for the lateness of my December readings. I've been very busy organising the Steampunk Yule Ball that I put on every year here in Exeter in Devon. So that's kind of taken priority, but I was very aware that I really wanted to do a Yule reading for you all. And Yule is all about the return of the light. So we're going to look a little bit about how we can kind of purge through any of the darker issues that we've been through this year, and how we move through into the new year with light and love. And as ever, I start my reading with a goddess card. And your goddess today, can you see her? She is Isis. Oh, Isis, the powerful goddess Isis. So often Isis talks about past life stuff or things from the past coming up to be purged, coming up to be healed. She is the goddess rich in names. And one of the reasons she is that she's quite dichotomous. So she can be very motherly, but also very seductive. She can be very domestic, and yet a fantastic businesswoman. So she really is an all-round protectress of women or people generally. And yeah, I think she's really sort of saying to me for this reading is that maybe that things in the past should be left in the past. Hopefully that makes sense. So the first card I drew for you, and this is the area of what needs to be brought to completion or purged before the end of this year, is Temperance. And Temperance is about balance. So for me, this is saying very clearly that you need to look at the parts of your life that are out of balance. And sometimes those parts of our lives we have little influence over, particularly if it's around our children or around other people who are important in our life. But it's actually now about you looking at what you can control, what you can bring back into balance. And then the hope to carry you through from the Yule, from the return of the light. And beautifully, I drew the sun. And the sun is just simply a blessing. And it is about you really focusing on lighter days to come, and that whatever you're going through at the moment, this too shall pass, and the sun shall shine, and we shall dance in a field of sunflowers together again. I know that a lot of people are going through quite a lot of stuff at the moment, so this is just a reminder that this will carry you through. Remember the sunnier times, remember the sun will be returning. Okay, and then what is the main influence or energy to work with in this coming new year? I drew the Page of Swords. And the pages in tarot are kind of very young energy. They've got an innocence about them. They've got a curiosity about them. And particularly this card is a very curious kind of card. So the energies that you really need to work with and your influences is about being more curious about things. It's about experimenting. It's trying new things out, new ways of communicating, new ideas, but doing it with that kind of childlike curiosity and going with that feminine flow of not looking at a solution to this, but just enjoying the process of looking at things in a different and new way. And this is going to be your energy for the next year. So this is quite an exciting sort of time for you to move through into. And then we look at what sleeps in you, what is dormant, what is it that kind of will start to stir as Yule occurs. And really beautifully, we got the 10 of Cups. So this in you is the wanting, the feeling of emotional contentment, whether that's with yourself or with your partner or with your family. And maybe it's been a bit of a difficult time. Maybe you're not able to see each other because of the current world crisis. or maybe you're not getting on very well, and this has kind of been dormant in you because there's been so much else kind of going on. But there really feels like this will start to emerge as Yule and the light returns, is that this need for a bit more sort of emotional stability in your life. And then what is to be reborn within you as Yule occurs is the Nine of Wands. Now, often the Nine of Wands is seen as quite a negative card. It's kind of the card of perseverance, of fighting all the battles and just feeling a bit worn out by it all. But I see this card in this position, what is to be reborn, is about your faith, your determination to get through whatever it is you're going through at the moment, your kind of resilience, your courage. You know, all of this is going to be reborn in you, especially if you're going to be working with this kind of curious and experimental energy that we looked at with the Page of Swords. So that's really lovely that actually, yes, it's, you know, the tarot is definitely saying, and it's kind of, you know, saying we can see that you've been through all of this stuff, but we see you. And what you're going to have to do is look at this in a very new way. And you have got it in you to be resilient, to be courageous, and to have faith in yourself and your abilities. And then I asked for a blessing for you all, for the collective Sagittarius. And this is from your guides or your ancestors or your spirit or whatever your spiritual connections are in the world. And I got the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is about, it's often about juggling priorities. So your blessing is, from the universe, is some time management, is a bit of adaptability. It's about learning what's important to prioritize. And if we look at your first card, which is what needs to be brought up for completion and purged, was the Temperance cards, which was looking at how do I bring the things in my control into balance. And then we look at your final card, the Two of Pentacles. It's like learning what those are. What are the priorities? This is going to really help you through the next year, Sagittarius. So that's really, really lovely. It feels really positive, the energy here, but I do feel that you've had to sit with quite a lot over the past few months, maybe few years. But it, you know, it feels like what you've been through has been a huge lesson, and what it's done for you has given you the resilience and courage to move forward with these new ideas, new ways of being, new ways of thinking. So on that note, I then pulled a crystal card, so a crystal that might be useful for you to work with. And actually, I believe it's the Sagittarian birthstone, or at least one of them. It is the lapis lazuli. Oh, I love saying that, lazuli. And this is about activating your higher mind, thinking clearly, and using your intuition. So it might be worth getting hold of some of this, or if you have a pendant or anything, to wear it. So that might help you through some of this transitional things, some of this kind of finding the balance, finding the control over what you can control in your life. And then if you are a yoga-y person, I also drew a yoga card, a yoga position that might be useful for you to help open you up to the possibilities of this new light, this new time after Yule. And I got the camel pose. Now you can look this up online. I would say that if you have a hernia or any real back problems, this is not for you. So the benefits of the camel pose is that it stretches the entire spine and relieves backache. It stimulates the kidneys and thyroid gland and helps correct rounded shoulders, and opens up the chest, opens up the heart. So that's a really lovely one to do. So that's what I've got for you this month, in this month of Yuleish wonders. I wish you all a very happy, joyful Yule. If you would like a private reading, all my details are down below. You can also check out my Etsy shop, which has all my natural remedies and cosmetics. I'm also doing some gift sets for Christmas. I've got a few about a week before I finish up, so if you want to order any of those, again, all down below. I've also popped the decks that I've used today in there, and I think that's about it. I'm not very good at all this online stuff, so bear with me, I am getting there. But Sagittarius, for now, my love, I love you. Return of the light, return of the light. Woo woo.